I would now like to welcome Dr. C. Rangarajan on stage, and I would request Arun to please welcome him with a bouquet. Dr. C. Rangarajan is a leading Indian economist who played a key role both as an academic and a policy maker. He has held several important positions, which include Governor of Reserve Bank of India and Governor of Andhra Pradesh. Dr. C. Rangarajan is currently Chairman, Economic Advisory Council to the Prime Minister in the rank of Cabinet Minister, a position he has held since January 2005, except during 2008-9 when he was a member of the Parliament in the Rajya Sabha. Prior to this, he was the Chairman of the 12th Finance Commission, whose report was regarded as path-breaking in furthering fiscal decentralization in India and for laying the foundation for fiscal consolidation. Dr. Rangarajan was the Governor of the Reserve Bank of India during 1992 to 1997, a time when India embarked on wide-ranging reforms which fundamentally altered the structure of the Indian economy. He was actively involved in the design and implementation of the reform agenda. His contribution was particularly noted for making monetary policy a flexible instrument of economic policy to achieve growth with price stability, for moving the exchange rate regime to a largely market-determined system, and for making the Indian rupee convertible on the current account. He also initiated far-reaching reforms in India's financial sector to make banks competitive and efficient. These included deregulation of interest rates, introduction of prudential norms and credible regulation, upgrading standards of service, and introduction of IT in banking operations. After an economics honors degree from Madras, he obtained his PhD from the University of Pennsylvania. In the United States, he taught at the Wharton School of Finance and Commerce, University of Pennsylvania, and the Graduate School of Business Administration, New York. In India, he taught at Loyola College, Chennai, University of Rajasthan, the Indian Statistical Institute, New Delhi, and for well over a decade and a half, the IIM Ahmedabad. He was for a time fellow at the International Food Policy Research Institute, Washington. In recognition of his distinguished service to the nation, Dr. Rangarajan was awarded the Padma Vibhushan, the second highest civilian award in India. We request Dr. Rangarajan to share a few words with us.
Mr. Jain and distinguished members of the audience, I must at the outset thank the PoleStar Foundation for asking me to be with you this evening and to participate in the awards function. The best way to promote excellence in any field is to honor people of excellence in that field. And that is what we are doing precisely this evening. The jury has done an excellent job of pruning and scanning over more than 700 nominations, and therefore the awards that are being given today are more precious for that reason. As the names of the people who are receiving the awards have not been announced, I will simply say that let me congratulate all those who are going to receive the award this evening. We listened to a very lively discussion this evening on the merits of social media and the conventional or the regular media. I'm not a journalist, at least not a professional journalist, and cannot comment on many aspects. But I do think that many interesting issues have risen. They have been raised this evening. One of the toughest issues raised is relating to the relative role of freedom and regulation. As a former regulator of the Indian financial system, I know how difficult it is to ensure that the system operates freely on its own and at the same time impose regulations in order to ensure that the system functions smoothly and soundly. This is something very difficult to achieve. In fact, in the wake of the international financial crisis, I find more people asking for regulation of the financial system. But what the international financial crisis has taught us is too little regulation can lead to financial instability, but too much of it can come in the way of innovation, which is badly needed for growth. Therefore, the art of regulation lies in striking an appropriate balance. The policymakers need to strike an appropriate balance between regulation, which is needed for maintaining stability, and innovation, which is needed to promote growth. Now, this is a lesson that we are learning in the Indian financial system. And I think this basic conflict and the dilemma is applicable all over and including the field of journalism, not only the old journalism, but also the new journalism. But in this context, we must also recognize the roots of journalism. And journalism is the fourth pillar, as they call it, of the edifice of democracy. It is free press that acts as a check on the three other pillars, namely the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. It is a press that educates the public on various issues,